the Warriors definitely been the most surprising team in the NBA this year so far. I mean, even without Klay Thompson, the Warriors are doing really, really well. They got the number one seed. To me, they're the best team in the NBA. And when they get Klay Thompson back, they're only going to be even better. And along with that, Stephen Curry is having one of the best seasons that he's ever had in the NBA. But I want to talk about the secret to their success and what's helping them win and what's helping them be successful throughout the season so far. Let's go ahead and talk about it. We talk about the secret to the Warriors' success. You can attribute it to a lot of things. The main thing I guess most people would attribute it to is Stephen Curry, how good he's playing. Arguably, this might be the best season we've ever seen him play. Arguably, this might be the best season he's ever had his whole career. Because when you think about number-wise and, numbers in regards to the records he can break and, just him being himself is, definitely, outstanding, and it's definitely incredible to watch. But at the same time, when you see how good this guy can shoot in dire situations from as deep as he can shoot at any point in time, he's just a lethal weapon all on its own, and definitely one of the most lethal weapons in the NBA of all time. And he's definitely the greatest shooter of all time, so that's not debatable. But when you think about that, you also got to think about Steve Kerr. What he's done with his team, what he's done with the opportunity of having young players and developing them and getting them to understand a system that is put in place to help them win has been nothing short of sensational, if you ask me. I mean, they've been a very surprising team. I thought they would be a good team. I didn't think they would be the number one seed in the whole NBA, especially without Klay Thompson. And I didn't think that they would be, where they are right now in regards to, how they're looked at. They're looked at as a finals contender. They're not even looked at as a team, just making a decent run in the playoffs right now. They're actually looked at as a finals contender, making the NBA finals even without Klay Thompson this early in the season so far. And it's definitely a vast improvement compared to where they were last year, and getting knocked out in the play-in tournament last year by the Grizzlies. That was utterly embarrassing. But this year they definitely have made, some adjustments, and you have to really appreciate that. So when I think about, the secret sauce or the secrets to their winning ways, you have to attribute it to a few things. For one, the development of Damian Lee and Jordan Poole has been unbelievable. You can add Toscano Anderson in there too, because that guy plays some defense. He plays hard, and he can knock down some shots too. And he's definitely a fearless type guy. And you always need players like that to help you win. The guys who are fearless, the guys who have no conscience to go out there and make something happen when there's nothing there to be made. And that's definitely a huge thing. When you look at these players that they've added, those three specifically, they've came so far since maybe like a year or two ago. They're developing so quickly and so fast. Honestly, the Warriors might have a possible dynasty all over again, because now they still got Iguodala, who actually came back to them, and you add Toscano Anderson, who can play a little bit of defense, or who tries hard on defense, I should say, who can get his own shot. Jordan Poole has just really been a revelation for them. He's been probably their second best player on the team, and Damian Lee is just, always seem to hit, big shots when they need it. Like when they're up by 3 or, down by 3 points or down by 7 points, he'll come down there and hit like 2 threes back to back. Now it's a 1-point game or a tie game going into, the fourth quarter or something like that. Like he always seems to, find his way around the ball and always seem to, kind of make, underrated plays that they need at the time to get them going, give them that spark. And then on top of that, a lot of people might not even be speaking on it, but look at Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins has, developed very good in this system that Steve Kerr has presented to him with the Warriors, because to me, this is the best I've seen him play since he's been in the NBA. Now, I will give him credit. He was on the Minnesota Timberwolves, so I can't, really judge his career too much, being on that team. But at the same time, he played, so you got to, rate him the way you saw. And from what I'm seeing from him now, compared to, his days on Timberwolves and, other spots he's been in. He's playing more concise. He's playing more like he understands the game of basketball from a different level. And his defense is becoming really, really stout. He's becoming really good. I always thought he was a decent defender anyway, but now he's becoming more of a two-way player in regards to he can give them 16, 17 whenever they need it. And he can go on the other end and lock up somebody and play some really good defense. And if you have somebody like that who can go out there and perform the way he has and play both ends of the floor, that makes up for Stephen Curry not playing defense when Klay Thompson comes back. Because now you got two guys that can play both ends of the floor and give you production on both ends of the floor. And that's rare in the NBA. Most players in the NBA that you could think of, most of them are one side of the floor and that's it. It's not many good two-way players in the NBA. So when you have a player that has versatility on both sides of the floor like that, that gives you a valuable weapon that a lot of the teams don't have just as you do. So it makes you superior to a lot of other teams because you got somebody who can drop 15, 16 points, but also lock up one of the other team's main stars and play good defense and make plays and cause turnovers like Andrew Wiggins and even a few other guys on the Warriors can do. It just makes them hard to beat. And then, like I said, of course, you got to throw Draymond in there. I'm not saying he's a big part of the reason why, but I definitely say he's a part of the reason because, it's almost like having 2 point guards on the floor because when Draymond is in the game, he definitely is their point guard, and so is Stephen Curry. He's their point guard. So when you have 2 point guards on the floor who can pass, it's going to make the team really, really dangerous. And what a lot of people are not talking about as well, another weapon or another secret to their sauce, I would say, as far as them winning, is Otto Porter Jr. He comes off the bench for this team, but he comes in and he plays with fearlessness. He comes in and he takes his shots and he gets high quality shots and he can make and take those shots. I can remember him when he was on the Wizards. He always was a good piece for the Wizards back then. And the reason why I always said he was good because he's another player that doesn't mind playing both ends of the floor. He can play a little bit of defense, but he can also knock down some shots and give you about 14 points a game. And, he can do that consistently. So there again, even coming off the bench, now you have a player that plays both ends of the floor who can knock down big shots. That's basically who Iguodala was for them years ago when he was more in his prime. But now that Iguodala's out of his prime, well, they basically have a prototype of him to a degree in Otto Porter, even though Otto Porter is not as good as a player as Andre Iguodala, but he can do some of the things that Iguodala can do, which is play both ends of the floor. And like I said, he can knock down a big shot if you need him to. He can knock down a big three because he's been proven, he's done it, he's been in the league a while, and he understands the game from a different perspective. He has an IQ of the game to where he can be effective on any team he goes to. And that's just, how Otto Porter is. His game is built pretty much for any NBA team. Any NBA team could use his game because you can use him off the bench. You could put him in the starting lineup and he's going to give you toughness on the defensive end, and he'll knock down some threes and some big shots and hit some, big free throws if you need him to on the offensive end. So when you have players that play to the level that the Warriors have and understand the game from a standpoint from coming from Steve Kerr to them and getting that in their head, well, they are a juggernaut because, like I said, you have gotten Damian Lee, Jordan Poole, Toscano Anderson, and Andrew Wiggins to play damn near lights out in the last 2 seasons. And Steve Kerr definitely deserves a lot of credit for that because I didn't even know who some of those guys, I knew Andrew Wiggins was, but this Toscano Anderson and players like that, I didn't even know who they were until Steve Kerr really put these guys on a platform and let them go out there and do their thing. Only reason why I think I heard of Damian Lee, because I think he's actually Stephen Curry's brother-in-law, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe he's the one that they said is his brother-in-law. So I did hear him only because he's married to Stephen Curry's sister. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, well, I didn't hear anything about his game or anything like that until I start seeing him flourish and him play, in this system that Steve Kerr has and he's got these guys rolling. So when you think about how good they are now with the secrets they have and the weapons they have that a lot of teams really can't figure out, because you don't know when either one of them is going off. Toscano Anderson might have a 25, 30-point game. Jordan Poole might have a 30-point game. You know what I'm saying? Like Damian Lee might drop out with a 15, 20-point game. You know what I'm saying? And then, Andrew Wiggins can have a 20-plus point game. It's like their offense, they got so much good ball movement, and they got so many players, or should I say they got so much good ball movement. The players they have no choice but to flourish in that offense. They have no choice, because you're getting high quality shots, wide open shots, and Stephen Curry, having him around makes it even easier to get your shot because he's getting double teamed. Imagine what it's going to be like when they get Klay Thompson back. Imagine what it's going to be like when Klay Thompson really gets his footing back under him the way he was. They are going to be damn near unbeatable, because Jordan Poole has ascended and the other guys are stepping up. They're already used to stepping up and making big plays when they need to. They're already used to playing at a high level when called upon. Now they can take a few steps back and let Klay step back in and do his thing. And then when they're called upon in late games, big games, playoff games, they're already used to it, because Steve Kerr already has the system working until Klay Thompson comes back. And then you add James Wiseman, he has to come back as well. So, I mean, you look at the two players that they have that's not been out there playing, and they still are, 21-4? I mean, that's damn near more than impressive, because I wouldn't have thought they'd be 21-4 or 20-4 without Klay Thompson. And they found a way to do it. And Steve Kerr has pulled the right strings with these players, and he's got them understanding ball movement is the key to winning. Ball movement is the key to success, and understanding that making the right play will help you win rather than making the splash play. Now, of course, that's hard to tell Stephen Curry at times, but it doesn't matter. He's such a great player. He makes up for his own issues at times, even though, his jump shot may not fall every game. It may not be on point every game. He makes up for his because he's a superstar, and that's what they do. Superstars only help you. They don't hurt you, especially when they're engaged and they want to be there and they feel the love and the chemistry. A superstar is going to bring you a lot of good things, so you don't have to worry about that. But what Steve Kerr has gotten out of these other guys, and what has been implemented to them and how they've responded to what Steve Kerr has done, you got to give Steve Kerr a lot of the credit. You just have to, because even though Stephen Curry is great, he can't hold down the fort by himself unless these other guys are playing at the level they're playing. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this team wouldn't be remotely close to how good they are if Jordan Poole didn't develop, if Toscano Anderson, if Andrew Wiggins, if they didn't have Otto Porter coming off the bench. You see what I'm saying? They wouldn't be nowhere near where they are if they didn't have players like that understand what's being put in front of them and understand this is a system and this is how we play and this is what's going to help us have success and win as we did years prior. But hey, that's my take on the situation. You leave any comments in the comment section. You let me know what you think. Do you think that you think that's the main secret weapons that the Warriors have? Do you see another secret weapon that they might have that I didn't mention? Leave it in the comment section. Let me know what you think, or just let me know what you think about the topic in general. And like I said, leave it in the comment section. We could definitely talk about it. And hey, Cali out.